everybody, we're taking Small Biz Diaries on the road.
Because small businesses aren't just built behind screens and virtually. They're built in markets and coffee shops, restaurants, storefronts, so much more. And so we're coming to them. Small Biz Diaries is going on the road.
Hi everybody, we're here in Durham, North Carolina, Small Biz Diaries on the road. I'm so excited. We're about to go meet with Areli, the co-founder of Coco Cinnamon, right behind me. Let's go check it out. I'm constantly looking for small businesses to support, especially when I'm traveling, and I wanted to take Small Biz Diaries with me and get more of these raw, unfiltered conversations with small business owners. So, Small Biz Diaries on the road episodes were born. When I found out I'd be in North Carolina, I knew I wanted to connect with women-owned small businesses, but I didn't know where to start. So I took to Threads. I asked for recommendations on women-owned coffee shops in the Raleigh-Durham area, and Threads delivered. That's how I found Areli and her incredible business. Areli's work has been recognized in Indie Week, the Triangle Business Journal, Durham Magazine, and even featured on Apple TV's Omnivore. Her story started with a dream, a business plan, and a bicycle. I sat down with Areli to talk about what it really took to build her business from the ground up, the importance of sustainable sourcing, diversity, and fair wages, and the lessons she learned along the way with building her business and managing a team. Oh, and of course, we had some incredible coffee and churros while we were at it. Let's dive in.
So we started on a bike. The bike was a blessing in disguise because it really got us to know the community better and the community to know us before we opened a coffee shop. You know what I mean? Which is huge.
So important,
it's huge. Yeah. I mean, if you want to open up a community spot, like you have to know what community you're serving.
Yeah.
We didn't have access to bank loans because my credit was shot, his credit was shot. I don't know. We just kind of like stubbornly pushed through and just did whatever we could.
Is there something that like you would tell Areli at the very beginning?
We were the owners, we get to make it up. Right? That's something we're still learning, and I think I had a lot of doubts in the beginning where I was like, why are we opening up 3 shops? If I were to do it all over again, I would only do 1, and I think that's because like the hardest part about running a business is managing people. We have these ideas, and when it's just you, like it's easy to implement them, but like when you have a team, it's like you have to know how to communicate those thoughts and those ideas, and you're also now responsible for people.
And there's only so much you can do by yourself.
You learn so much about yourself in that process, right? You learn about like your own communication style. You learn how to like communicate with other people, and you learn other people's communication styles, and like you have all this experience now of like, oh, like I've experienced this before.
Someone said that being an entrepreneur, being a small business owner is like putting a mirror up in front of you.
That's exactly how I describe coffee. Like the entire supply stream like showcases history. You're having to undo like expectations of how things should be done.
Yeah.
And how people should be getting paid. It's a very reflective industry, and that like it does show you where you're at in how do you take where you're at and like use it as a tool. It's not easy, because again you're like being confronted with your own journey in that, and so like sometimes there's like, oh, this is a place of growth.
I'm constantly evolving as everything else is evolving.
Yeah, and what a gift
too.
though,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, it's hard and like, yeah, it's exhausting, but like, I don't think I would want to do anything else.
Which is actually a great transition to my question. What gets you going, or like what motivates you when things are hard?
Things are so hard right now with the market, like the pricing of coffee right now is really high, which is amazing for producers, but like it's essentially to the point where we're gonna have to raise our prices, right? And like we are getting coffee from Mexico, and Mexico is like kind of in a really bad spot because the prices are up, which is again great for producers.
Yeah.
But it's been like, how do producers and like roasters share the risk, right? And so the idea is like that you're paying a price for a coffee that is making them a profit, and that like this is a livelihood for somebody, that it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna sell this cheaply so that I can at least bring in some money, but it's not covering the cost of production,
Yeah.
When your coffee is too cheap, that's good for the community, money, but like there's something off about that too. Who's not getting paid well? Our partners in Chiapas like suffered a lot last year because of the cartels. They had a lot of like community members like fleeing their farms. They had like women missing, and they weren't allowed back in to do like some of the quality control that they usually do. This year they're back, but the cost of like, there's so many costs when it comes to producing specialty coffee. Everything went up in price. So the price is high in the market, like they're still kind of barely making like ends meet, right? Because everything went up for them as well in terms of not only that, but like they're also like now having this like pending threat of the tariffs. Like we're trying to create these contracts for future coffee because the harvest is right now. Rosalba's trying to like pay the pickers and like the people that she works with, but she's freaking out because she like told me a price, but then that price got like almost met by the sea market. It's like, I've never done this before. She's like, and then what's gonna happen if they do actually implement the tariffs? I just got on the phone with her and we talked, you know, like she's gonna keep the price that she like said in the beginning, but like I'm also like very conscious of like we want to make sure that like the price isn't so ridiculous that we start losing our customers, because then that reduces the amount of volume that I can buy from her. Right now those really hard things are like coming down to relationships. Know that like right now like the market is benefiting them and not necessarily benefiting me. And at one point it's gonna switch. It doesn't matter like when it's benefiting who, like we want everyone to like to survive and to like make this a sustainable business for everybody involved. Like I'm seeing that her efforts are like she wants to continue this relationship. She could easily not sell to me and just be like, you know what, Areli, like if you can't pay this, then that's okay, I'm gonna go sell it somewhere else. But she's like, no, I really appreciate our relationship and I want to keep this going, and like I'm gonna honor that price that I told you. This is what it looks like to have a values driven business and like make these decisions, and it all kind of comes down to like those conversations.
You're realizing how many things have to come together for us to just drink this cup of coffee. So I feel like everything you just outlined is like the layers and layers and layers that people don't see. As a business owner, you're the one that's like having to think of all that and like going through all the motions and like trying to figure it all out.
It's so hard to communicate that. Like I'm grateful for this opportunity because it's like everyone in our industry has been like posting our prices are gonna go up, you know, like preparing their customers. By the time I'm done going through all of that like up and down of emotions and like trying to figure everything out, I'm like, I don't even know how to say this to our customers anymore.
What advice would you have, like if for someone, if that, you know, their dream is to open up a coffee shop or just open up a business in general?
Even when you're like a values driven business, like you still need to bring in money. Have a business plan. The location is really important, and knowing your community is really important. Really get to know coffee. Like don't get discouraged. Tasting coffee is also one of those things that like over time you start like noticing more nuances, and the same thing goes for like your business, I feel like.
Really wanting to bite into one of those.
Oh my god, I know.
Which ones you said was your favorite?
I think the raspberry is really good. And the cardamom is my next favorite.
Oh my god, so good. You know when in Mexico when they put them in like the bags?
Yeah.
So good. That's what I just like transported back to.